Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Kenny Wallace Show. What in the world is Ty Gibbs thinking? What is wrong with this kid? All right, now listen. I'm not the type of person that pounces on the weak. I'm not the type of person that knows when they're down, keep pouncing on them. What is Ty Gibbs doing? All right, so here's the disclaimer. On Saturday at Martinsville in the Xfinity race, last lap, it's for all the marbles, right? Now, Ty Gibbs does not have to win the race to go in the final four for the championship. Let's remember that. I know I'm bad at repeating myself. I've heard it before. I'm not going to repeat it. But everybody else is around there that, Brandon Jones is leading the race, and he needs to win it to get in the championships. And as old Larry Mack said, oh, and by the way, Brandon Jones and Ty Gibbs are teammates at Joe Gibbs Racing. So what the hell happened here? Green, white, checkered, right? So they dropped the green flag. Ty Gibbs is second row inside. Noah Graxon's outside. They go down the back straightaway, 3 wide. Noah Graxon on the outside, right? And you got 3 wide, everybody. Let's go down the corner, down the front straightaway now. 1 lap. Go in the corner, and Ty Gibbs, for about his 5th time this year, let's say 3rd to 5th time this year, Ty Gibbs literally destroys, misjudges, wipes Brandon Jones out, who's leading the race. And if Brandon wins the race, he's in the championship chase. As I said about the Bubba Wallace deal, ugly, ugly, ugly. So everybody boos. Every race car driver denounces it, says, oh my God, what is wrong with this Ty Gibbs? Now, I broke it down for you. I told you what happened. I told you Ty Gibbs runs into Brandon Jones, it just destroys him. Listen, if you're a good race car driver, you tap them, you move them out of the way. And that's exactly what Christopher Bell did, okay, against Chase Briscoe on Sunday to take the lead. You hit them hard enough, you move them up, you get underneath them. That's where everybody's going wrong. They think they're Dale Earnhardt Sr. I see this every single week. Everybody thinks they're Dale Sr. They're not. They don't have the talent. Not nobody, but people don't know how to move people. They end up wrecking each other or wrecking and eliminating. So let's break this deal down. I laid it out for you. Here's where Ty Gibbs goes really wrong. Okay, first of all, Ty Gibbs is Super Bowl champion coach Joe Gibbs' grandson. All of you people are screaming nepotism, which I can't stand that goofy ass word anyway, because Ty Gibbs is talented and he does deserve the ride. Okay, I'm not going to agree with nepotism here. I'm going to talk about what the hell's this kid thinking. He needs therapy. He needs to go to a therapist. Okay, just like Bubba Wallace. I think it's a little man syndrome. Oh boy, Kenny Wallace is getting personal. No, I'm not. I'm telling you, when people are short, they pissed. He's short, he's pissed. Instead of having 1 chip on his shoulder like Bubba, he got 2 chips. Ty Gibbs should be thankful that he's got one of the best rides in NASCAR history. His grandpa is Coach Joe Gibbs. His dad is family. Mind you, now we're going to talk about J.D. Gibbs too. Remember, we lost J.D. J.D. Gibbs used to run Joe Gibbs Racing. We lost J.D. some 3 years ago. Really sad deal. And I sure do think that they're wishing J.D. was here in town, so, living, and he could have talked some common sense into Ty. Ty is just scrambled eggs right now. All Ty see is me, he's not a teammate. So he takes his teammate out. He gets into an interview, right? NBC interviews him and says, what were you thinking? So Ty says, and this is where it goes bad. Listen, we all got to have somebody. Let me put it this way. I'm going to broach a subject, and I'm going to make it where I don't piss you off too bad. My mom always says, don't talk about religion. They've been fighting over it for thousands of years in the Middle East. But I'm going to broach this subject. Ty Gibbs, it goes wrong when he says, Jesus, quote unquote, Jesus was hated too. Okay, now you're comparing yourself with Jesus. But you ain't Jesus, okay? And I don't think he knows what he said. I know he's young. But Ty is messing up left and right here. Wipes his teammate out, compares himself to Jesus. And this is where the Gibbs deal, I accepted Jesus Christ into my life, okay? When I just did. I don't need to tell you when and all that. And I got a call from Coach Joe Gibbs and a little note. He says, I want to thank you, Kenny. And so Coach Joe Gibbs preaches God all the time. And I think that's wonderful. But if you're going to preach Jesus, you need to be careful, pick and choose. So this really turns the fans off now. There's a funny thing here. And it was, the great drag racer of all time, John Force. John Force tells this story. And Force says, I'm in one of the biggest matches of my life. I'm sitting here on the line, and maybe it's Gary Sells. We told this story before, right here, but I'm going to remind you of it. And he's sitting there, and Force is like, dear God, please let me win this. He says, God gets back to him and says, hold on, I'm over here on the other line with Selzy. So, we all think God's only talking to us, right? God's talking to everybody. So, this Ty Gibbs wrecks his teammate, tells you that God was hated first, and we all know the story of God. So don't preach to us in a competitive situation. You're not the only one competing. All these race car drivers are praying to God for safety and things like that. So, all right, let's move forward on this same subject. Very heartfelt. I know you don't want to hear it, but Denny Hamlin tweeted something out very simple. I miss JD. And boy, I heard him loud and clear. So Coach Gibbs is a Super Bowl champion coach. He's to be respected no matter how old he gets. But sometimes when we get older, we should just be there for the pitchers, right? Because we lose touch, right? We just do. I try not to act young. I mean, listen, I take care of my grandbabies. I take them to Chuck E. Cheese. But I don't know nothing about all this TikTok stuff and everything. So what Denny Hamlin meant was, I miss JD. If JD were alive here, JD would have been the therapist. He would have been the psychiatrist for Ty. Now Ty's got a dad, but JD had that touch. And on Sunday, the day of the Cup race, Ty Gibbs, his dad says, we don't like what happened. So in other words, Ty Gibbs' dad says, I don't like what my son did. This is a bad deal. It's going to be a big team meeting on Monday. So, listen, I mean, what are they going to do? We already know that Brandon Jones is headed to Junior Motorsports, right? So if I was Brandon Jones, I'd just wipe that kid out. I'd wreck him. I mean, I'd just get it over with. And Ty knows it's coming. So I forgot to tell you, Ty ends up winning the race, and he's in the championship chase. I'm sure NASCAR is going to say, all right, gentlemen. Okay, stop it. Listen, an eye for an eye. You took me out for we raced all year long, and you took me out, and I forgive you. But now you took me out in the most meaningful moment, and you're my teammate. So here's what's going to happen, Ty. You're not going to win the championship either, and you're not going to finish the race at Phoenix. I always tell you, the Herminator don't like to act tough, but I like to say that I'm a lover until I go postal. Listen, you don't want to see me. You don't want to see that side of me, but Ty Gibbs is going to have to be taken out next week. Now, listen, you can do it. You can take him out and not hurt him. It's going to have to be turn one. You're going to have to go through the tribal. That's where you got to send them. And here's why. Because that corner, turn one, does not have any banking. So if you spin them going into turn one, you send them 90% chance they're going to hit the wall. The problem with doing it down in turn three is that's banking. So when you spin them, the banking kind of holds them. So it's going to have to be on a restart. You're going to have to look in your mirror. It's going to have to be precision in. And I got to tell you, Ty Gibbs has pissed off a lot of people. It could just be a back marker that says, hey, I don't like this Ty Gibbs. So once again, my disclaimer, the same about Bubba Wallace. I like Bubba. Bubba's always been good to me. And, you know, what Bubba come out and said on his one and only tweet, sitting home, Jordache sent me humble pie. So Bubba Wallace is going to be hated for a long time, disliked. My mom doesn't like the word hated. Ty Gibbs, he's in trouble. Ty's in trouble. Ty, number one, here's what he's got going against him. He's driving for his grandpa. Fans don't like that. Okay, same thing with the Austin Dillon deal, Ty Dillon deal. But Austin's making all the right moves. Austin Dillon just seemed to be making all the right moves. Seems like he's won the fans over, got that TV show. That TV show is doing wonders. I believe it's on the Bravo network. It's showing Austin Dillon. You know, the fans, okay, Austin is not a smart ass. This Ty Gibbs is a smart ass. And listen, he's got two ways to go, down or up. There's no sideways. So Ty Gibbs is going to have to get some therapy. I don't think it's going to come from Denny Hamlin or Coach Joe Gibbs. It's going to have to come from a therapist. Or why do you feel like you got to wreck everybody? Or do you need glasses? Why are you running it? Why are you misjudging so bad? Ty is not even, he just keeps running over these people. Once again, he's not Dale Sr. So, you know, Ty's got a lot of issues. He's got the short man syndrome. He thinks he's God. He quotes Jesus. And the third thing is he needs glasses. Because he doesn't know how to move people. He destroys them, wrecks them, moves, you know, puts them up in the wall. Teammate. That's the fourth one. Not a good teammate. Not a good teammate. So, all right, I bashed Ty Gibbs enough. Kyle Petty and myself are kind of similar. Kyle Petty said when he had to talk, you know, bad about Matt Kenseth, he says, Matt never talked to me for 8 months. So listen, I've never met Ty Gibbs. I don't want Ty to hate me, but it doesn't matter to me. I don't need Ty Gibbs, all right? I don't need him. I got my own family. However, I would like to talk to Ty Gibbs and say, what's wrong? You know, what's wrong with you? So I believe I could help him. He doesn't know what he has. Now, Ty's going to say he knows what he has. I'm gifted. My grandpa gave me my ride. He don't know what he has. Buddy, if you want to grow up middle class to poor, come to the Herminator. I used to tape soda bottles on my bicycle. And run them up to 7-Eleven, cash them in for $1.50, and then go to A&W and get some food. So Ty needs to be put in his place, and he has got talent. He's a good race car driver. He's got to quit talking stupid, and he's got to quit running over people. All right. So that's it. Herminator's a little upset with Ty Gibbs. Shows no respect and uses God's name where he shouldn't. All right, then. That's it for the Kenny Wallace Show. Until next week, we're going to keep on rolling. Remember, subscribe right here on YouTube. And we are on Spotify, iTunes. We're in podcast form now. And we're rolling. Want to thank you again so much. Views are exciting. And looks like this show's here to stay. We'll see y'all later.